Well, Wild fans,
This is the end. Beautiful friend.
this is the end.
This is the
And
end. My only friend. The end
it's kind of fitting
of our
that it ended this way, really. This team probably needed to get put out of its misery a while ago. And it's fitting that the Jets dismantled the Wild in Game 5, because it just kind of proves what a lot of us have said and a lot of us knew, that this Wild team just wasn't really particularly all that good. So where do we go from here? That's a great question. There's a lot of folks that think that Chuck Fletcher should be fired. There's some rumblings about Bruce Boudreau being on the hot seat. I don't know what to make of any of that. I think that Chuck Fletcher is a coin flip, depending on how you feel about that. Craig Leopold has shown a lot of patience with his GMs in the past and with Chuck Fletcher to this point, but his contract is up. So is it a time for a new voice with the Wild? You know, I think a lot of us would lean that way, but we don't know if that's going to be the case. And if not, Fletcher has a lot of work to do to get this team where we all want it to be. Bruce Boudreau, I would think would be around. The whole hot seat stuff about him, I really don't understand. I think he's done a good job with the cast that he's been given, basically. But the results speak for themselves. And I think if there is no changes made this summer, you know, it's really, you know, the whole doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result kind of psychosis. And part of, you know, that's kind of sports in a nutshell, is trotting the same team out there every season and hoping that this is your year. But just seeing how overmatched the Wild were by a team in the Jets that, you know, is kind of a sleeper, but not on the tip of everyone's tongue to be a Stanley Cup favorite, it's really telling. And so I think that there's a lot of work to be done. I think that we'll have to see what can be done this summer. There's not a lot of wiggle room with the cap, as we all painfully know, but something has to be done. And rest assured, the Giles and the Goalie podcast will be there to give you our opinions and our thoughts on things, because that's what we do. We'll see. This might be the most, you know, we've said it before, and I think it's been true before, but I think this summer probably is the most important offseason in Wild history so far. Lots of moving pieces, potentially, and lots of work to be done. So, I don't know. As far as the season goes, you know, it was a season. And we talked about before the season that everything that happened this year didn't matter. The off-season, as disappointed as we were in it, didn't matter because it all hinged on the playoffs. And 5 very disappointing games later, it's over. So this season was a season. It was a hockey season by a hockey team, and hopefully you enjoyed some aspects of it. But in no way was it satisfying or you know, so enjoyable to the point that it would be memorable. And that's all you can really memorialize this season by saying. So that'll do it for me for now. I enjoyed a wonderful night out with friends, despite the Wild doing their best to ruin it. But we will have an episode this week. We'll be still trucking on with weekly episodes, at least through the free agency, I believe. And so look forward to that. Look forward to Giles and I writing at Zone Coverage, and look forward to the podcasts. Thank you so much for the season. The season has been great. We've set records all over the place with the podcast, and I think we only have upwards to go. So thank you for your downloading. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for listening. And we will catch you later.